Hi, I'm Vaughn George, and you're listening to Ollie Zaxa. It's Wednesday. It's time for another video. It's Depeche Mode again. And yes, it's a big one once again.
Thank you so much.
Interessant. Hallo Freunde, hier ist mal wieder euer Olli Sachse. Heute sprechen wir mit einer ganz besonderen Person auf Englisch, nämlich mit Vaughn George. Hello George. Hello Vaughn.
Hello, Ollie.
Vaughn, I think it's quite not that easy to explain what you are. You are a musician, a YouTuber, a fanboy of Depeche Mode, a producer, a keyboarder, a member of a music group. What did I forget?
No, I think you've covered it all. All of the above. Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah.
I am a fanboy of Depeche Mode too, if I can say. I'm a fan since 1983. But I have to say that I got to know you last year, I think, at the end of last year. So very late for my experience. How did you become a Depeche Mode fan?
Well, I got into them quite late, actually. I've spoken about this on my channel. I first got into them when Violator came out. I bought a compilation vinyl record. You get these vinyl records.
Yep.
It's got like various artists on it, and I had heard of the word Depeche Mode before. I'd just never really sort of took the time. And anyway, this vinyl record had like various artists. It had anyone from like Jason Donovan, Kylie Minogue, Alana Miles, The Lightning Seeds, all these different artists. And I remember putting the vinyl record on. It was the first track on side two. When I put the needle down, Enjoy the Silence came on, and from the beginning of hearing those first few chords, the lights went on, and I have never been the same again, because that's what really got me into Depeche Mode. That was what essentially got me into wanting to make music, and Enjoy the Silence really is the reason I am where I am now. So that's the short version of the story.
And the same as the members of Depeche Mode in the foreign times were not really musicians. You are not really a trained musician too?
No, I'm self-taught. Yeah, I taught myself. I'm still
But
learning.
but if I look at you today, I think it went quite right.
Thank you. Thank you. I think because I coach people now as well, and I think I'm always trying to just show people that, I started late. I started when I was about 15. People always think you've got to start with piano lessons when you're like 4 or 5 years old. And I guess I'm testimony to that. If you want to do it, you can do it, and I also, I never didn't have rich parents. I didn't go for piano lessons or anything. I just, used all my money. Then I was working in a supermarket when I was younger, and I bought my first keyboard, saved up money, learned. This was long before the internet, so I used to watch. I had a Depeche Mode video live in Hamburg. I used to
Yep.
watch that cassette over and over, and I used to like put it on slow motion and watch what they were playing, and that's really how I started, just from nothing really.
Yes, I started myself, but I didn't get any further. That's something else. And you are now with something new on tour, let's say, the big word. You are playing Depeche Mode songs only with piano and your voice.
Yes, these are what we're calling the interpretations show. We've got the first one booked in Oberhausen in Germany on the 28th of December. Germany's been very, very good and supportive. You know, Germany was very good to Depeche Mode. They've been very good to Mesh. And obviously, since I've been recruited by Mesh recently, we decided, to do this. And this just started when I was doing the YouTube channel. I do the album review series, as guys know, and I talk a lot about Depeche Mode. And I put a lot of focus on the songs and the composition more than sort of focusing on the synthesizers and stuff. I liked to concentrate on the songs and structure. And therefore, what I would do is I would break the songs down onto piano and then demonstrate the songs on piano. And that's really how this started, because I had people sort of saying, oh, that sounds great on piano. And then I used to sing, and some people would say, oh, it sounds great. And I'd be like, okay, thank you. So that's really how it started, was getting all the encouragement from the community online, and which has brought us to where we are now. So yes, the interpretations shows are going to just be me in venues playing Depeche Mode songs on a piano with no backing tracks, just nothing. So just a very stripped back, intimate type of setting.
And as the first concert, if it goes right, you will do some more, or is it a test, let's say?
Well, it is a little bit. I've got no doubt that I'll pull it off. But it's just that when I spoke to our tour manager Jan, and I said I had this idea to do this, he went and booked me in a show in the Cult Temple in Oberhausen, and that's quite a well-known venue in Germany. And it's quite a big venue. So I would have preferred a smaller venue to start with, but I'm not going to. I can't confirm anything now, but there is the possibility of a show in Tallinn, in Estonia, in the DM bar, at the end of November. So that may be my first show before the German one, and it'll be a smaller show. So, yeah.
So Tallinn is a good word. You just met the Depeche Mode cover band Forced to Mode and made a special with them?
That's right. Yes, Forced to Mode. I met through my YouTube. I reached out to them maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, and I interviewed them on my channel. I'm not really big into the whole tribute thing. I'll be honest with you. And I must just mention that, the piano shows I'm doing at the moment, it's not a tribute act. I mean, I'm not going out there. I'm not trying to sound like Martin. I'm not trying to sound like Dave. It's just me singing songs in my own way. And that's what I prefer. I always feel artists should interpret things in their own way. But now coming on to tributes, I think Forced to Mode really are the one Depeche Mode tribute that I think, and there are a few other very, very good ones out there, but I think Forced to Mode stand out to me as the top dog in the industry. I mean, they look the part, they sound like Depeche Mode, and they look like rock stars in their own right. I think they really do it really well. What I like about Forced to Mode as well is the fact that they are, they're musicians. So it's not like a one finger thing. These guys can really play. As I said on my video, you could see that those keyboards are completely armed, and what's impressive is throughout the songs they have one keyboard player covering all the parts. And of course, what they can't do physically will be on the backing tape. But the bottom line is, I think, as far as tributes go, I think they are, in my opinion, the best in the world at the moment.
And I think the audience will suppose you, and they suppose the band, of course.
Yeah, it was interesting because I live in Estonia now, in Tallinn, and the one thing I like about the Estonian people is they're very calm. Yeah, I lived in the UK, in London, for most of my life, and yeah, us Brits aren't calm people. It's quite a quite emotionally charged people. So it's nice to come here to Tallinn, where people are a lot more laid back and calm. But I must say, the reason I'm saying that was when I saw at the Forced to Mode show. It was good to see the Estonians like really screaming and cheering and letting their hair down. Like, it was completely out of character, but they enjoyed themselves.
Let's talk a bit about your YouTube channel. Can you explain to someone who doesn't know it at all what you are doing there?
Okay, my YouTube channel is called Vaughn George. It started off really as a tutorial channel. I was teach people how to play keyboards, but then I really just one day when I think I went to a Gary Newman gig, and then I just came on. This is the fourth video I made, and I came on and I thought, let me just talk about the gig I went to, and then that seemed to attract a lot more attention than the tutorial stuff, just because it's more, widespread. And then after that, my fifth video, which was my biggest video to date, was the video I released, which was called Depeche Mode without Alan Wilder. And I just wanted to talk about what I felt, what resonates with me. And I think why this channel has been successful is because I think I've always come at things from a very authentic angle. I talk to people the way I am. It's not an act. If people meet me in real life, they will see I'm exactly the way I am on the channel. So it's not an act. And the way I'm talking to you on the channel is the way I would talk to you in real life. And I don't profess to be an expert. I'm just like a guy who loves what I like, and we talk about what we talk about. And so the whole channel, I guess, is just me talking about, music and the way I understand it and the way I interpret it. And within that, I would break down songs and analyze them on the keyboards or the piano. And it's really just, I guess, my presentation style is like talking to a friend. That's what it is. I'm not sort of getting up there to be an expert. I'm just talking to a friend. And that's really where it resonates with people. And so the whole idea of the channel is, I'm not a music journalist. That's the thing. I'm not a music journalist. I'm just a music lover. I'm a musician, and I do music myself. I release music. I coach people. So it all sort of comes together. And I sometimes find people sometimes find it hard to sort of. People always want like a definition of, Vaughn, what is it that you are? And as you summed it up in the opening, I guess I'm a musician, a coach, and a music lover, but I wouldn't define myself as a music journalist or anything like that. So the channel really is just a place where I share my love for music and what I'm doing at the moment. I guess it's. I wish I could package it more in a more concise way, but when this is not a corporate operation, so.
No, that's a problem of some more artists, so you are not alone. But you wouldn't prefer if we call you the biggest YouTuber in the world. That's not what you want.
Oh, God, yeah. No, bless you. Oh, we're far from that. No. I think my channel is, you get some of these if you bring it down to subscriber count, some channels have got millions of subscribers. Mine doesn't. I have a very big channel for the niche that it's in, because for the niche, it's it's a big channel for the niche that it's in. But I think the success of the channel is more about the community that's been built here. It's not about the views and that kind of stuff. It's more, we have a very close-knit community, and it filters out into all the there are a lot of let's say Depeche Mode fan groups out there, Facebook groups, and we're all sort of connected in that way.
Okay,
So
let's talk about your profession. Let's say you're member as in the band of Mesh. Are you a real member, or are you just a live musician, or what exactly are you?
A real member. I like that. No, I know what you mean. I think if we bring the Depeche Mode analogy into this as well. If you look at the Depeche Mode band at the moment, you've only got Dave and Martin at the moment, and you've got Aigner and Gordino who come on to do that. So that's essentially what Sean and I are like in Mesh. Mesh are Mark Hockings and Rich Silverthorne. They have been since they started in 1997. Been going for a long time. And yes, so I've come in as a live musician. Of course, the album is in production at the moment. I do get sent the demos to listen to, and I give my input and stuff like that. And so I guess to answer your question, Mesh will always be the duo, which is Rich and Mark, and I am part of the live band. But within that, I love the freedom and flexibility I've been given, because since joining, I've been given sort of freedom to contribute live what I want. I can reinterpret some parts. I can add sounds and things like that, and which is good. So I think that they trust me to do that, and that's a lot of fun. It's not sort of like come in and do this and do this. So I'm allowed a lot of expression within that, and it's a lot of fun. It's a real privilege.
Okay, if we come back to a YouTube channel, especially the Depeche Mode series, it's always a problem. The news, the actual records, some like them, some don't dislike them. It's always the same. I think you are one of the people who more likes the earlier works than the newest works, but you explain every record itself. How long can it go?
You mean how long can Depeche Mode keep going? Is that the
No,
question?
how long can you keep going with the
Oh,
channel?
I mean, well,
What do you want to talk about in 2 years if you are ready with everything?
oh, well, I mean, look, I mean, the thing is as well, it's worth mentioning, I've got my channel, but I've set up a separate YouTube channel called Depeche Mode Hub, for your viewers, if they want to check that out as well. The reason I did that is because I am going to, on my main channel, start moving away from Depeche Mode and doing other things. This was never meant to be a Depeche Mode channel. It's just, Depeche Mode has always just been, I guess, my favorite band, and it's been very influential in what I do. And I love talking about it, and the guys that watch it like listening to what I have to say about it. So I've started a channel called the Depeche Mode Hub to move everything Depeche Mode related onto that channel. And then this channel, my main channel, we'll still talk about Depeche Mode, but I want to address other things as well, like 90s dance music and all kinds of other things. Mainly keyboard and synthesizer, anything with a keyboard on it, whether it be pianos. So I might even want to talk about Billy Joel or bands like Supertramp and or Rick Wakeman. That I want to throw my net wider, but I do not want to isolate or offend my Depeche Mode following. So therefore, I've got the hub, and that way it just keeps it easier for me to move forward, keep myself interested, but also ensure that the Depeche Mode fans get what they want.
Did you ever have the chance to meet Depeche Mode personally?
No, there is one of the videos that went viral on my YouTube channel was a video called "The Day I Met Martin Gore." That was I used to work in a music retail store in London. It was called Turnkey. It used to sell keyboards, synthesizers, and musical equipment. And Martin Gore came in one day, and he just walked in just off the street, and I bumped into him and made a real fool of myself because I was very young at the time and I really fanboyed myself. But yeah, by all means, watch that video for I go into a lot of detail. But yeah, I've met Martin. I haven't met any of the other. Sadly, I wanted to interview Fletch because I think he'd be very interesting to have interviewed because he had a great sense of humor. Very, very dry and very sarcastic. But unfortunately, he's passed away now. But yeah, no, I've only met Martin.
Do you know if they know about your channel?
They do. I know, obviously, the Depeche Mode. I know Alan Wilder's aware of the channel and all that. I mean, you must remember that the Depeche Mode machine, and I'm not talking about Dave and Martin, but the actual Depeche Mode management, they are very, very keyed into, what's going on. They're very media savvy, and they would be. This includes protecting the band, protecting the brand, and all that kind of stuff. And this is why I was a bit conscious when I started my channel and I started demonstrating the songs using the original samples. I was conscious of that, but I think I've never had there's never been any sort of they've never reached out to me and said, you need to stop doing this or anything. Because I think anyone who watches my channel, whether they like it or not, I think no one can agree. I think everyone has to agree that I'm coming at it from a place of love. Like when I'm demonstrating this stuff, it's coming from a position of education and stuff like that. So, yeah. So to answer your question, yes, they are aware of my channel. Yes, but it's not going to get me an interview or anything.
You never know. Do you have to pay for playing their songs now live on stage, or do you have to ask them if you are allowed to, or how does it work?
Well, the way it works is, I know in the UK, excuse me, I got
Yeah.
notification. In the UK, there was this thing, or that the PRS, Performing Rights Society, and you're really covered by that as a member. But also, whenever you perform in venues and stuff, every venue has to sign up to something which is like a Performing Rights Society, and it really covers it within that. I'm not an expert on the field, and of course, my management, when I do the gigs, will cover this. But to answer your question, yes. So technically speaking, whenever you're performing publicly, if I'm singing a Depeche Mode song, then I don't know how it works. It's not my field, but the songwriter, in this case, Martin Gore, who's the publisher, will get something. So you can imagine how rich Martin Gore is now, because all the people covering his songs, whether it be on YouTube or whether it be live, they recoup some of the royalties, I guess.
Yeah.
That's how it works. But how it works, it's very complex, and I can't give you an answer.
But they're not as rich as Taylor Swift, I think.
Probably not. No. Probably not. No.
What is the nearest future? It's okay, you will be on tour, maybe some more concerts. Is there anything you can tell us what you have planned?
Well, at the moment, it's just obviously there's the interpretations piano shows. There is the possibility of one at the end of the month here in November in Tallinn. There has been interest from America, Poland, Belgium, all over the world, really, people wanting it. So I'm flattered, I'm humbled, I'm a little bit scared, a little bit nervous. It's, as I said, when you go onto stage, like, we've played to big audiences before, especially with Mesh, you'd walk on and there might be 2,000 people in the audience when you're walking onto stage, but you're walking on with your band members and you're going on, it's kind of like you're like a team and you're going on. It's very different when you do a piano show because you're walking on by yourself. And depending on the size of the audience, the piano shows are not like, let's say, like a Mesh show where it's like lights and drums and bass and, it's a very calm. So you walk onto a quiet stage and then you've got to play piano and people are listening to every note. So it's a little bit more nerve-wracking because any mistakes you made are going to stand out. Anyway, so to answer your question more directly, we are looking to probably do some more of these if there is interest, which there seems to be. Then, of course, there's the Mesh album, which is currently in production, which I am sort of I'm involved in, sort of indirectly, so to speak. And then there'll be the tour after that. And then, but really just for the day-to-day going ahead of the channel, I've just got some more content planned. Got to finish the album review series and just get more content out, really.
Okay, then maybe we talk about it in 1 year, and then we can see what there is new. Will there be a live recording from your first interpretation?
No, but I mean, what I'd really like to do is I would love it to be like an old school kind of thing where it's like, just no phones and all that thing. But yeah, I'm not, that's not something I'm going to request or, try to implement. I believe people will probably film and stuff like that. But no, I've got no plans to sort of live stream or professionally record it at this stage. Maybe later on, we'll see. But, these are early days and, the whole idea initially was just to do small venues with maybe like 100 people in them. It's meant to be very like cozy and intimate. But the first show we're doing in Oberhausen, I believe, is a seated venue, and I believe there's 200 seats in there. So that's quite a big start, I feel. But as I say, there is a chance that we're going to have a smaller show before that here in Tallinn.
Okay, then the best luck you can have. I wish you all the best, and maybe we can talk about it in a year, and then we can take a look back. Thank you very much for the interview.
I really appreciate your time. Thank you. Thank you for getting me in.